afternoon, Jules here from Joolsedesigns at JT Creations. So what we're doing now is we're making some scrap pads, but they're journal cards. So there's your bit to journal on, there's your scrap pads, and I've just stamped on them, inked them, shoved bits of paper on them, bits of ephemera, just any. I've got a load of cabbage dyed paper here. I've got some piano paper, some packaging paper. I've also got some tickets and stuff. So, and I've had this pile of book pages, and I'd been folding them up. I was going to do tags with them, but what I did was I stuck them down and folded them in half. But that one I folded in half. These I've left a space, so that's what we're doing there. And you can use all your bits of ephemera, stamps, it doesn't matter. So that's that. So we'll put that to one side. So I've got these folded, and all I'm doing is I'm sticking them down with a glue stick, and just one in the middle, and shove that down, and then one in the middle, one at the end, and that's that. If I put too much of my glue stick out, I end up getting, I think we've come to the end of this one, I end up getting great big clumps, so I just and you can use your machine and stitch around these if you want. I might have a go at doing that. And this is an encyclopedia. I was lucky enough to get a load of encyclopedias. Just looking for it. Got another one here. Now, when you come to the end of your glue stick, you've got all this glue in there. And I just scrape it out with a coffee stirrer and spread it on like that. Waste not, want not. I tend to do this more off camera rather than on camera. But it's one way using all your glue stick up. You might get a couple of lumps and bumps, and what I did with this was I cut it down, I think to 9. Yeah, 9 inches by just under 7. All I did was I just cut the rough bits off, and because it's an encyclopedia I can use the middle column, but it doesn't matter if it's not exactly in the middle. That one's not. And then we'll just in. You could actually use a knife for that, or one of the palette knives for that you use on your stencils when you're doing your textured paste or whatever. I tend to use a coffee stirrer, and then just and that's what I do with that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So then what I do is I'll use my messy mat. So this is just a silicone mat that I've got, and I use it when I'm inking and stuff like that. I'm using Fryer Brown, the Harmony Spectrum Noir, and I'm just I just like the tint of this one. And just leave them to dry. That over there and that up there. So we've got that one. Actually, oh, it doesn't matter. But what I like to do is I like to round the ends off, so I'm just pushing the ends up on that one. That. So what we want to do now is just and it's probably about 1/4 inch. Doesn't really matter. And I make the seam inside. There's no rule to say that you can't have it on the outside. And that doesn't look very oh, I think we've missed that one. We'll be back with this one. Okay. Just shove that on the back of my seat. That one, and there we are. So we've got 5, I think. So we'll do this one first. Now what I usually do, what I have been doing is I've been using a bit of this piano paper and just fold that in half. And then inking around that. I'll use a full glue stick. I'll not scrape that out on and there's no right or wrong for this, it just goes down. Okay, so we'll do all these. And some of the piano paper has more holes in than others. There's no writing on it, so there's no right way. It's just for journaling on anyway. And we've got another bit here. I've got quite a few of these rolls that I need to start using. That way. I've not inked around them, but you can go around them like that with just your blending tool. If you've got any glue on it, will pick up on the glue. And obviously when you're ripping them in half, if you've got any of the little perforations, that's that one done, so it's this one. We'll need to watch this because that's it. Just run that round the edges, and if you wanted, you could use a bit of this. This is just the paper that you get inside the packaging. When you open one of your Amazon boxes, there's usually a load of this in. Sometimes it's browner than this. This is the grey one, but it's just as good as. You can actually see where the glue is on this. And we'll just put that there. And there we are. So we've got 5 like that so far. So what we want to do now is we want to do a bit of stamping. So I've been stamping the fronts, I've just been using random stamps, and it's the other side of that up. rip that off. It just went over the crease, so it's the other side of that. So this is the way, this is the front. And I think I've got this one. I think we'll have some little birds. Yeah. And this is just a stamp set I got from Temu. I just liked it because it's got script on and birds. And I think that's what so we'll have a little bird and a little bit of script. In fact, we'll have the script there. No, we won't. We'll have the bird there. The script there. And just make sure that they're on properly. And I'm using, in fact, I'm not going to use my versifying clay. Put my light back. I've just knocked my light. I like to use this on the script. And we're still going to put a bit of ephemera or something on it, so there we are. We'll put that one back. We'll put that bird back. And there, I'll put the bird there. And there we are. There's another one. Put the bird back and I think we'll have some because we're going to have some ephemera. I'm just putting this around there, the edges. We'll put that one back. We'll have this one up at the top, and we'll have that one there. There we are, that will do, and we'll put that one on there. We'll put that one back, and we'll have this one different. Put that one on the bottom. We'll just move them about a bit. In fact, we'll take that one off and we'll have something different. Put that ticket one there. And this just helps you do some multi-stamping. And we'll put that one upright, put that one there on the side, We'll put that down at the bottom. So you can use the same stamps, but if you move them, if you know you're mass making and you just want a slight difference, just move your stamps about. That's all I do. And we'll do this. And there we are. So there we've got those ready for our ephemera. Now what I've got is I've got some fairies, so I think what we might do is we might put a fairy. We'll put that one on there. I'm going to ink around the edges, but I am using the Fryer Brown. It's got gold around the edges, and this has come from one of my fairy kits. Put that on. And there we are. And this one, it's a library card, and these were came with the aqua and gold kit, but I did 2 on a page, so they came out smaller. And it's going to go over the bird, but it's fine. In fact, what I'll do is I'll use this. Now I've had it stuck upside down, so it might, oh no. I got myself a wee glue stand from Temu. Put that down there. Okay, and should we have another one of these? See, that's all it is, and you put a glue sticks in there, and when it's upside down on the nozzle, for some reason it doesn't, you don't get a lot of glue coming out. Put that more in the middle, I think. And there we are. I think we might have another fairy one. Might have this one. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim this gold bit off. And we'll put that one down there, above a little bit. And the last one, and I've got some Scottish ones here, but I think these maybe are a bit too big. Got that one. Yeah, love that one. That's the drama whiskey. and the whiskey bottle, but it doesn't say whiskey on it, so we'll just use it. I quite like that paper, and this was with one of my tartan papers. It will go up a little bit. And there we are. Put them to one side. Get rid of that. And then what we need to do is make the little scrap pads. And I was going to say I thought I had 5. So we'll have, right, I'm going to trim some off the ends of these because these are a little bit too long. But I'm going to put them together first. So we've got one that way. And it doesn't matter if they're not perfect. I'll put that one. Just going to have that sticking down there a bit. And nope. We can't because we're going to cut some of that off, so we'll have that over there. That like that. And we'll just trim that off. And then all I do is I just get my little stapler out and put a stapler in, so we'll put that one there. We'll do another one. We'll have the eco dyed. And we'll have a bit of cabbage dye. And we need to take it off there. Again. Put that one there. We'll have a bit. And we'll have a blue a bit. So I'm just using kind of 3 strips, and I think that's enough to go in there. Let me have a look. Nope, take a little bit off the bottom. That, and we'll have that. And it's one way to use, you know, your the end bits that you're cutting off when you're making things with using your coffee dyed paper, and don't ever throw your end bits out, because this is what I use these for, is just scrap pads. And I think we'll use one of these. I think we'll need to cut a bit off. Yeah, just a wee bit. And these bits that I've used, I'll stamp on them, not them bits. And then that's that. And that goes in there, so we can put that away up there. And then what I do with this is I just you can use double-sided sticky tape for this. You can use what you want. I tend to use glue. And there we have it. And if you find your staples kind of stuck, you can press it down and flatten it. Use a little hammer or pair of flat pliers. And this is a way of building up your stash. You know, if you like to do Happy Mail, makes a nice Happy Mail. I sometimes use these at the side of my computer when I'm designing. You know, I like to write notes down sometimes, and I'll grab something that I've made. See, it doesn't matter, you can stick it, but I just trimmed it off. I think that one will need trimming off as well. Yeah, we'll take a little bit more off that one. Okay. Now if you wanted to, you could fasten these, you know, put a little bit of ribbon on the back and fasten them at the front. I'm not that bothered really, but what I do want to do is I've got some buttons here and some bits of thread, and I think I'm going to have some buttons. These are the made buttons that I did on video. I think we might have, no, I think we might have the green one, and they've just got little bits of thread on them. That one on there, we'll put the, yeah, look at that one. I think we'll put that one on there. That one's got a bit of thread on it. Have that one on there and that one on there, and all I do is I just, if your string's a bit wispy, frayed, just stick a bit of glue on it. Poke it through. Tie it in a knot. In a double knot. That's if you can get it round. Whoops. Then I usually use a little tiny pair of scissors. Cut that off. And then just put the scissors in there. The string and fray it. And you can use a sticky dot on this, you can use fabric tack, you can use whatever you want. And then we'll just stick that on there like that. And cos the buttons, they're made with circular cards, and then it's just made with a punch. If I remember, I'll link the video that I made them. They are quite easy. I used embossing powders, just stick that down. Here we are. Oh, it's got one on already. I'm going to have to put my pin in my glue because I've been using it. It's a chance to get air in it, so it's drying off a bit. That there. Because the buttons are thin, they don't take up an awful lot of room. And then we'll put that one in there. Didn't have to put any glue on that one. Tighten a double knot. If you find your thread or whatever's starting to come loose, you can always put a little bit of glue in your knot as well. I sometimes do that. And it just sticks it down, stops it from opening. And make sure you put some glue on your string. And this one. Glue's getting down to the bottom, it's needing refilled again. The label's finally come off after about 10 years of refilling that bottle. I got it from, is it Create and Craft, when I bought some mandala stamps and glitter. The Jane Nesterenko used to do the glitter. I think it was art glitter as well. The little pots with about 6 or 7 little bottles in, and you stamped your mandala stamp and then put your glue in the pattern and put all the different coloured glitters in. I used to do them for Christmas cards. So there we are. We've got and that was so easy to make. Oh, that one's coming off. Stick a bit of glue in there. Oh, got a bit of glue seepage. And if you get any glue seepage, just stick a bit of ink over it and it just makes it look that little bit older. So we've got five little scrap pads. And if you want, you could put something over there. I've got some little bits that I've ripped off. Whatever. You can put labels on them. I've got some labels here. I was actually going to do them on there, but I didn't. And then we've got the ones that I did off camera. So I've got eight of these little scrap pads. So I've now got a nice collection. So it was, your page was 9 inches by just under 7, was it? 7.5. Fold it in half long ways into the middle, stick it down and turn it round. Perfect for mass make scrap pads for any journal. Obviously, I mean, even the fairy will go in any journal, it doesn't matter. But there, I've got those. So hope you get something out of that, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.